Hello everyone, this is HuskyStarcraft here, back with some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm 1v1 action. You guys probably know the routine, but this time it is going to be from the tournament ZOTAC Cup. They have had, I actually want to talk about that a little bit. I've already introduced the players in the previous game. I'll do that in a second as well. I'm currently pacing back and forth in my room as I cast this. I'm really excited about this. I want to talk about ZOTAC Cup really quick. Let's go look at the other player just to keep you guys entertained a little bit. There we go. ZOTAC Cup, they have been doing tournaments in esports, not just for StarCraft, but in other games as well, since what feels like the dawn of time. I don't know if they are the longest running tournament, but I feel like they might as well be. They've been doing it for such a long time, and I just want to give a big shout out to the guys over at ZOTAC for being able to put on so many consistent tournaments. It is no small feat at all to stay consistent. A lot of leagues out there have either greatly cut back their tournaments, have completely folded or whatever, but these guys have been right at the forefront of tournaments for a super long time, so awesome work, ZOTAC, guys. But either way, it is going to be a TvZ. Reaper King down the bottom right side, better known as Apocalypse. Not quite sure why his name is Reaper King in this game, but we'll just go with it. It's all right. The name Reaper King is pretty cool, and is going to be going up against Lucky. Now, that last game was brutal. This is a best of 3 between these two players. Basically what that means is Lucky has got to win this game, and if he does not, then he is going to be eliminated. And you can see right there that they are actually talking about the score, 1-0 in Reaper King's favor, which is true. And Z-Cup also saying it's 1-0 Apocalypse, which is his name as well. They're just trying to confuse me a little bit because they know that I'm so bad with names already that they just got to throw in different names to make it even more confusing. Oh my god, we actually have a command center first here. Now, unfortunately for Apocalypse, this is going to be, they're both on the same side of the map for spawns, and it got spotted first try with that first Overlord. Probably spotted that command center as well. No, he didn't. He did spot the barracks, though, so he knows it's command center first just because of the timing of that. He's going to double check, though, make sure that this was not a second barracks as opposed to a first barracks. And he's going to try and angle it right here. He wants a spot. Yep, he does see the command center right there. He's seen everything he needs to. He also knows that that is going to be the very first barracks, so he can float that Overlord all the way inside the main base. And just kind of leave it there for a moment because there's not going to be a Marine anytime soon. Now, this is really bad for Apocalypse. It may not feel that bad, but the fact that this has been scouted, the fact that it was a spawning pool after the hatchery, there's not another base on the way for Lucky, that means Lucky can actually pressure this if he wants to. He can go for Baneling timings if he wants. He can go for Roach timings if he wants. He does have one drone in gas as well. Which is a very peculiar amount of drones to have there. You can see right now that he is going ahead and pulling that one out. Got to be sending this guy down to the natural. No, it's not for a spine. No, it's not for gas. He's just going to start mining right there. Obviously, at this point, you wouldn't want to go for spine crawlers because your opponent is not going to have any units. Unless he pulls all of his SCVs, which you're going to win that battle anyways because your units regenerate HP out of combat or during combat. Then he doesn't have to worry about getting spines or anything like that. So he's going to be able to play it relatively safe here. He can go for an attack. Like I was saying before, he can pressure this if he wants, which he is going to. You can go for an attack right away with Zergling Speed, with Roaches, with Banelings, any mixture of those three. And I think actually pressuring this, I think this is a smart move. I think this is the right thing to do as long as you can deny the scouting of these Lings. And notice that's exactly what the Zergling is doing right now. Notice where those Lings were in the back of the base. 8 more Lings got to be on the way. I love this from Lucky. This is such a smart play. I really like this. A lot of times you'll see Zerg players just try and go macro to macro against a Terran, but I feel like going for the early attack is really the correct choice right now. Although, if Apocalypse gets up 2 more supply depots, this attack is going to do absolutely jack diddly. Unfortunately for Apocalypse, though, this is not going to be scouted in time. Zergling Speed is just moments away. One SCV is there. He needs to get another depot down, but guess what? It is too late. Got to be inside this natural. That bunker, I would say Asta Minyana. Let's see you tomorrow, but we're not going to be seeing it anytime ever. And all of a sudden, this expansion now is worthless. Gonna have to lift that off. Gonna have to sacrifice the SCVs, the bunker, as well as the supply depot. And yeah, these Lings are not going to end the game right now. They're not going to be able to break down the main wall and kill everything inside. What they are going to be able to do, though, map control, killing out the economy, delaying the expansion, and basically preventing any sort of harassment from coming his way anytime soon. I think there's even a bunker on the way. Where's that bunker at? Why do I not see that bunker? It's over here. It's going to be over by the main river line. You can see that he was worried about even losing his main entrance here. I think he will be able to cancel this if he wants to. as the attack is not imminent. Although the problem for him is that he doesn't know that the attack is not imminent. He doesn't know that there's no banelings. He doesn't know that there's a third base. He doesn't really know anything other than he's trapped inside of his main base here. So that bunker is going to finish. That means if he decides to salvage it, he will get a nice little refund out of it, but it's not going to be nearly enough. The Hellbats are indeed here, and notice that these are the new patch Hellbats. Only 18 damage there overall. No extra damage to light units. Keep that in mind. These Hellbats, heavily nerfed compared to what they used to be. They have to get the Blue Flame upgrade if they want to be as effective as they used to be. So what that means is no lucky Hellbat drops are going to be able to win you the game as easy. I mean, obviously going for drops is always a good choice if possible. But here's the Hellbats right now, and you may see these Lings be able to engage this army directly. I think he could actually kill that off directly if he wanted to, but with the medevac, they're able to heal him up. It's kind of too risky to go for it, I would say. Medevac is going to go ahead and move out. The Zerglings have already headed back home, though. They're going to be there in time. They are much quicker than a medevac, and even though medevac can't fly, even though it just used its boost ability, it is not going to be in position in time. The Lings have already returned on home. Queens are ready to go. Spores are ready to go. I think we have Spines and Spores at the main base. Okay, that main base cannot be dropped whatsoever. He may try and go for it, but guess what? Hellbat's not nearly as good as they used to. Look at that. Only able to kill a handful of Zerglings as opposed to all of them, like it would have been before the nerf there. So with the Spine and the Spore, I don't think drops are really going to be a viable option. It may be his only option. Doesn't mean that it's exactly very viable. This is like the presidential elections in the United States. It's like, you know, voting for one over the other, it's, you know, it's better than not doing it, but at the same time, it's not necessarily very viable because it's going to be bad options either way. But we do have the SCVs now down at the natural. You know, finally going to be able to saturate this. Mule's coming on down. That's going to help it get his income a little bit higher. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's behind. He's not in a very comfortable position right now. Lucky, I think, learning from that last game, realizing that, you know what, a little bit of aggression can go a long way here because Apocalypse is his micro is going to be insane later in the game if you let it be. So it looks like right now the army may be moving out here. Mostly Hellbats in this mixture, which can be healed by the medevacs, as I was saying before. Marines are mixed in as well. So this is a good unit composition versus only Zerglings. Even the Banelings are going to be able to help deal with this a little bit because these units do count as light. The Hellbats are light units. So even though they don't take as much damage because of splash reduction, just because they're a wider unit, not as much splash damage going around, the Baneling's still going to be a viable option. Lots of Lings on the way. The Queen's mixed in as well. I feel like this is almost a desperation move out of our Terran player, realizing that he's in such a bad spot. But it does look like the Banelings indeed just kind of roll right on down there. May not even kill off the Hellbats. Notice how he's leaving those Hellbats. He's running them. Okay, so basically what happened right there is that Lucky ran the Banelings by, did not tell them to attack. So if he loses the Banelings, they're still going to do splash damage. If he doesn't lose the Banelings, then he just did that. He still has those. So not going to be wasting all of those Banelings. Does end up using the majority of them, but using them in a very smart way indeed. Overall resources lost going to be favoring our Zerg player. And remember that Lucky was really far behind in the units lost in the last game, and he still almost managed to win. I think that's going to speak volumes about how this game is currently going. In that, you know, he's going to be at least tied a little bit in that unit's loss. He's got the base on his opponent now. He's exactly where Zerg wants to be. And I think that moving forward here, he's going to be in a relatively comfortable position unless these Hellbat drops just do absurd amounts of damage. Now, remember, they did recently nerf these, as I was mentioning before. They don't do as much damage versus Lings, versus drones, and things like that. They are still good at doing damage just straight up, but I honestly don't know if these drops are still reliable or not for Terran. We used to see these mass Hellbat drops just do tons of damage. I honestly don't think that's the case anymore, but we're about to find out. These drones right now have got to be careful. Scorecrawlers are on the way, but guess what? Banelings rolling in, cleans them up immediately. The Hellbats there, though, do have Blue Flame now, and that is going to make them do additional damage versus light. And also note, that was a minor cosmetic change. This is the first time we're seeing it, is the Blue Flame upgrade now does, since it benefits Hellbats, it also makes their flames blue. So you can tell, at least when those Hellbats are doing a little bit of extra damage, which in itself is a little bit of a nerf, because you're going to know exactly what upgrades your opponent has. You know how much money they spent on it. You know the timing of it. You know that if those drops are going to be more effective or not. So that gives you more information on how to react, exactly what to do versus it, etc. So a nice cosmetic change, but also, oh god. Oh, guys, he actually got dropped right on top of this. Yes, he's going to try the Banelings. I just feel like the Banelings are the correct choice right now. Trying to split those up. Still not manually detonating them, though. But the Hellbats are going to be marching up here doing lots of damage. Guess what, though? Mutalisk pretty good versus units that don't shoot air, and does force a lot of the cancels on those, but you can see just how quickly those Lings melt away once the upgrades are done. One medevac down, another medevac as well. The drone's trying to escape here, should actually be able to get away. He could load them inside the medevac, but guess what? Medevac is now gone. drones are now safe. Those Hellbats are not going to be able to kill off anything effective whatsoever. There's going to be another drop over here trying to make it happen. 12 kills, 13 kills. Actually, this is starting to get a little bit of momentum. A lot of those are Zerglings, though. Workers killed is still shockingly low for the amount of drops that took place, and that's very important because it's 66 drones to 54 SCVs right now, and what that means is that Lucky is in very, very good shape. Even though those Hellbats did get a lot of kills, units killed 132 already. Resources lost still favoring our Terran player at this point. I don't think he did the damage he needed to. I still, at this point in the game, am feeling like Lucky's in good shape. The supplies are about the same, but the drone count advantage is huge. And the Mutalisk count, I mean, there's really no anti-air. There's 2 Vikings and 1 Marine. The rest is pure Hellbat. And Hellbats at this point in this game cannot carry you to a victory just by massing them up. If you see a player going for a lot of Hellbats, at this stage with no backup, that just tells you that he is very low on gas, he is very low on macro, and he's trying to get a win just on the cheapest unit he can get, which is the Hellbat. I don't think that's the correct answer. At this point, 2 Thors, though, are on the way. +3 attack for these ground units is nearly done, and the drop over here is going to be continuing as well. Blue Flame still pretty good, and does manage to kill off a lot of those. Oh my god, a lot of those drones almost went down, though. That would have been huge, but thankfully for Lucky, well, he got very, very lucky. Here's going to be another drop over here. That gets cleaned up. Overall workers killed. Still only 9 to 5. It's like a normal working day, man, but it does look like this medevac going to go ahead and move on out. Could unload them at that hatchery, but you risk losing everything to Mutalisks if you do that. And the fact of the matter is that they're just not going to be able to kill that off. But here comes the Terran army right now. This is basically it for Apocalypse. He's brought the SCVs, he's brought the Thors, the medevacs, he has brought everything along for the ride. These SCVs are not set to auto repair. They are here to tank up damage and maybe repair the Thors if need be. But guess what? Baneling's pretty good at killing SCVs. SCVs going straight for the creep tumors right there because of that scam. But here we go. This attack does not work. It's going to be it for Apocalypse. Baneling's getting ridiculous hits, and this is why pure Hellbat just does not work anymore. What SCVs? They are all dead, and that adds to the workers killed 21, and the cleanup on the rest of this is going to be very, very easy. And even if it's not super easy, it will slowly become more and more easy with more Zerglings on the way. The supplies 127 to 93. I just don't think this is looking good for Apocalypse. He realized he was behind. He realized he had to do something. Unfortunately, it still was not enough to overcome where he was currently in the game, which was behind. The attack, though, is going to continue. More reinforcements are on the way, but it is slow and not steady at all. I mean, the reinforcements just slowly waddling their way over here because it takes a long time to get out across the map. Baneling's going to be rolling in, and really as long as he kills off the Hellbats, the Thors are no problem. Mutalisk Zergling will kill off an infinite amount of Thors, and you just have to magic box it a little bit. That's exactly what he's doing. Notice how they don't take splash damage when you micro them correctly. And that one last remaining Thor, sure, he's got 16 kills. Sure, he's a captain. Sure, he looks like Chris Metzen from Blizzard, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be nearly enough. Fuel's dropping down now to begin repairing up this Thor, but I don't think it's enough. Killing off one base, that's nice, but 85 supply to 110. I will say, though, that Lucky is starting to struggle here a little bit versus this attack, as it did do substantial damage. The attacks, or the upgrades, that explains actually a lot now. Only 1-1 on these units, while the Hellbats have 3 attack, which means those Zerglings just melt away almost instantly. So not good news there for Lucky, but I still want to say that Lucky has the advantage here. He's going to be able to clean up this medevac as well. That did have units inside, so that's going to be lowering the supply even more. The one muta there. Good micro by Lucky, chasing it down with just the one muta. He knew that he had it. At this point, though, it does look like Apocalypse is going to go ahead and move out. He needs to actually expand right now. It's going to say he has to expand now. It's got to be now or never, and he does want to live forever, so he needs to try to expand right now. And drones transferring over to the other base. Roaches now out. This is actually a brilliant move right now, I feel like, by Lucky. Very cheap, very robust, and going to be very, very good versus the mech army that we see. Thors, though, with +3 attack, going to be able to do lots of damage. Widowmine's going to be on the way. Now, at this point, it's one of those situations where did Apocalypse have enough time to recover? And did he do enough damage? We can see these changelings right here trying to scout it out. They will go undetected for now and be able to scout everything going on, and including the army position, the army composition, the upgrades, the expansion timing. These are like the most sneaky changelings of all time. And they're going to tell Lucky right now, should I attack? Should I defend? We're about to find out. Banelings are going to be on the way 1-1, you know, on the Banelings is going to be quite nice. You don't really need the armor as much on the Banelings. It's all about that splash damage if possible. Is Lucky actually going to go for this? I mean, he's at 160 out of 160 supply. No Overlords in sight, so it may actually be a good time to go for it just because his army's not going to get much larger. But he does have 2 hatcheries on the way. That's going to be bringing it up to 5 bases, which is going to be more than enough to continue the macro in this game. Banelings just rolling on in. Big hits on a lot of these units. The Thor's going to get taken out as well. The absolute wrong time to transform those Thors, that's for sure. I think that was actually a little bit of a misclick. Will be able to, though, with a little bit of micro, able to save those Thors, keep them alive. And these Thors, man, so we got some Pacific Rim going on, man, versus the level 1 Kaiju. We have, like, tier 2 Jaeger mechs. Look at that. 2 kills, 1 kill, 25 kills, and 4 kills on those Thors. So able to pay for himself in that regard. But you can see just how Lucky's really starting to struggle to clean this up. However, oh, another drop going to be going down over here. Looks like the Spore Crawler doing some decent damage, but so are the Hellbats able to start cleaning up drones. 35 workers killed overall. Infestation pits on the way. More upgrades on the way as well. That drop eventually gets cleaned up. Medevac will go down, I believe. Yes, it does. Medevac is now destroyed, and 5 bases up and running now for Lucky. This one's not really up and running. This is like the 4th Starbucks on the corner of a street town where it's like, it just opened. People don't know about it yet. But once they realize they have to walk a half block less, they'll start going there. They'll start mining their minerals and buying their coffee. That was a horrible analogy, but I'm going to stand by my analogy. We do have swarm hosts on the way. This is actually a brilliant idea. I will say, honestly, that Lucky has not had much luck in dealing with this army composition so far, but he does with those swarm hosts. I think he's found the golden ticket. He is going to get unlimited chocolate for the rest of his life. Or what were the benefits of the golden ticket? It's like you get a tour of the factory or something. I don't know. There was some benefit to it. But it does look like the drones right now. Just going to go back to work here at this base. And honestly, swarm hosts, I think, are the correct answer. I think the price is indeed right. And the creep spread also is very, very good. There's really no other way to say it. The drop over here going to get cleaned up as well. I got to say, I love that Apocalypse is trying this. But I also got to say that I love Lucky's defense here is just top-notch. He is not taking damage from this hardly at all. There is going to be a drop up here, a couple of drones. I mean, there's really no way to defend those guys at this point. But does look like these Hellbats right now killing off these poor little defenseless drones. Hellbat's going to have to get out of there. But either way, with the swarm host now, I don't think there's actually an answer for this. Maybe, no, there's definitely not an answer. Wait, 30, what? 33 Widow Mines? Are you kidding? What? He's making 6 Widow Mines at a time. He's got 35 Widow Mines. When did this happen? What? What? That is so many. Are you? What? I am blown away. I never in a million years would have thought that this is what he was going to go for. We are going to see, though, if Apocalypse can make this happen. Watching these two players duke it out is it's very beautiful. I almost want to cry. I feel like I should be saying my wedding vows. It's so beautiful. But the Widow Mine's over here. He's just eating up all the charges here and still manages to push all the way into the main base. And these Widow Mines, it's nice to have them. But if they're killing free units, that means that the timers are just restarting constantly. Lots of splash damage is being dealt here. But again, I just don't think that... I don't know what I think anymore. He's at 44 Widow Mines, 6 more on the way. He's going to be at 50. Oh my god! Look at those Widow Mines. I've never even seen that many in like a mono battles, man. This is ridiculous. Widow Mines going to be pushing forward, trying to kill the Swarm Host. Is this actually going to work? Oh my god, that's so many Widow Mines. Are you kidding me? I don't even know. Oh, the Baneling hits, killing off so many more. Oh, guys, I can't even handle this. He's already down to 33 Widow Mines. He's got to try and run him in there. The Baneling, though, the best counter to Widow Mines on the face of the planet. And there's the GG. Oh my god, what did I just witness? I don't know. I'm just gonna make grunting noises, apparently, like I'm making out with this game. I cannot believe he made that many Widow Mines. I think what his idea was, and we already knew he was behind at this point, but I think what his idea was is, okay, I see the Swarm Host, and I see a lot of roaches. Those are things that are not going to be able to kill Widow Mines very quickly. So what I'm going to do is run those Widow Mines directly at the Swarm Host army. I'm going to burrow them, and I'm going to be able to just absolutely decimate, annihilate, destroy, blow up, kill, erase from the game, however you want to say it, all those units by burrowing on top of them. But the problem is is that Lucky still had Banelings. And the thing about Banelings is you have to remember that the Widowmine takes, 1 to 2 seconds to activate. If you have centrifugal hooks, if you have that Baneling speed and you're on creep, you're actually going to have time to get those Widowmines on top of the burrowed, or excuse me, you're going to have time to get the Banelings on top of the burrowed Widowmines. The Widowmines activate, shoot the Banelings. Banelings do splash damage, extra damage to light, kills them off instantly, and that is why you saw it go from 60 to, 18? 60 to 18 almost instantly. What is this game? I don't know, but we are going to go on to a game number 3 between these two players. Some of the most entertaining games I have seen in TvZ in quite some time. So go share it with your friends. Go show your grandmother. Go... I was going to say sell it on eBay, but I don't think that really quite makes sense. But anyways, guys, we're going to go into game number 3. Definitely don't miss it. I sure as hell won't. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.